In this video, we practice using the property of logs and simplify these four expressions. And then we do also these four. And lastly, we do these two problems. Let's practice using the properties of logs to simplify some expressions. So we're going to work with some base b. And let's say that the log of 2 base b is m, the log of 3 base b is n, and the log of 5 base b is x. Given that, how would I simplify the log of 12 base b? Try this on your own first. Okay, so there are different ways to do this. My hint is usually factoring is going to help. So let's factor this. Now, 12 could be factored to 2 times 2 times 3. And if we write it in this form, we can use the product property. So we're going to take the log base b of 2 plus the log base b of 2 plus the log base b of 3. So this would be equal to the log base b of 2 plus the log base b of 2 plus the log base b of 3, and I was given which each of those was equal to up here in red. So that would give me, let's see, the log base 2 of b is m. So this is m plus, now the log base 3 of b was n. So the answer would be 2m plus n. All right, now you might have written this problem instead of writing 12 as 2 times 2 times 3, you could have written it as 2 squared times 3. So let's do the problem again, writing it that way. So here's the same problem. Instead of writing 12 as 2 times 2 times 3, I'm writing it as 2 squared times 3. So again, we start off with the log base b of 2 squared plus the log base b of 3. And then we could put this 2 out in front, right? You put the exponent out in front, that gets multiplied by the log base b of 2, plus, now, we know the log of 3 base b is up here, that's n, and now I have to plug in what the log of 2 base b is, which is m. So I have 2m plus n, which is the same answer I got when I wrote it as m plus m plus m plus n. I also got 2m plus n. All right, let's do another problem. All right, why don't you put the video on pause and see if you could do this one on your own first. All right, what do we have here? Well, this is division. It's a quotient, so we could use the quotient property to begin and write that as the log base b of square root of 5. Now, how should I write square root of 5? How about 5 to the 1/2. We want to use exponents instead of radicals, minus the log base b of 9. Now actually, let's say you forgot to write it that way and you just write square root of 5. You could do that at the next step. Okay, so I'll just do it at the next step for those of you who want to see all the steps. So that'll be the log of 5 to the 1/2 power base b, right? And I'm going to do the same thing with this 9. I'm going to write that in exponential form. That's log base b of 3 squared. So notice what I've done. I've written the numerator and the denominator as a base to some exponent. All right, so now I can take the exponent, put it out in front. That gets multiplied by the log base b of 5. So I have 1/2 log of 5 base b minus 2 log of 3 base b. And now, what is the log of 5 base b? Look up here. That's x. So this is just 1/2 x minus 2. What's the log of 3? That's n. Perfectly fine to leave your answer this way. Although, you know, there are other ways of writing this. You could, in other words, write it with a common denominator, or maybe you're going to write that as x over 2 minus 2n. So that's another acceptable answer. If you wanted to get a common denominator of 2 over here, you would have x minus 4n over 2, right? Because you could multiply this by 2 over 2. So in other words, there's more than one way to write the correct answer, but this is perfectly fine, 1/2 x minus 2n. All right, this was just slightly trickier. I've got the log base b of 0.4. Now remember what 0.4 means. That means 4/10. Okay, that's my hint. See if you can figure this out on your own first. Put the video on pause. Okay, so I'm going to write 4/10, right? 0.4 means 4/10 as a fraction, which will be 2/5. Did you think of that? All right, now we're taking the log of a quotient, so we just take the log of the numerator. Oops. So that's the log base b of 2 minus the log base b of 5, and that then would be m minus x, and you are done. So be careful with fractions. You don't want to write this as 2 times 2. 0.4 is not 2 times 2. There was a decimal there. Be careful. All right, here's another one that's just a little bit different. We've got log base b of 15b to the 4th. See if you could do that one on your own. Okay, let's see. Well, we've got a product first. I have 15 times b to the 4th, or I can actually break that 15 down to 3 times 5. So just keep that in mind. That can be thought of as 3 times 5 times b to the 4th. Okay? So that lends itself to the product rule. So we can take the log of each of these separately. Log base b of 3 plus log base b of 5 plus log base b of b to the 4th. Okay, now what's the log of 3 base b? N. And the log of 5 base b? That will be x. And what's this over here? The log base b of b to the 4th, that's another one of your properties. B to the what power equals b to the 4th? That would just be this exponent of 4. And there we go. Here are 4 problems for you to try on your own. So pause the video and then go ahead and try them. And I'm just going to put the answers up, not show all the steps. All right, here are the answers to those 4 problems. And so I want you to try one more, the log base b of 2.5. All right, let's just do this one, showing the steps. We have log base b of 2.5 is what? 5/2. So we have the log base b of 5 minus the log base b of 2. So that will be x minus m. Let's see if we can get one more in. How about the log base b of the square root of how about the cube root of 2.5? Try that one. Put it on pause and try it. Slightly trickier. We first can write that as log base b of, now that's going to be 2.5 to the 1/3, right? And then we could write that as, oops, I forgot to put the 1/3 out in front. We're going to put the 1/3 out in front, and so we have log base b of, now 2.5 is the same thing as 2.5 or 5/2. See how we're building this up? So then we've got 1/3 log base b of 5 minus log base b of 2, which would be 1/3. And here we go. That's sort of like what we had up here, the x minus m. So you could leave your answer like that, or you might distribute and write that as 1/3 x minus 1/3 m. Okay, so I hope you feel like you got enough practice with the properties.